The Challenge Series returns for the 147th week of the series, or we'll just simplify it and say week 3 of Season 4. But 147 is what you'll see in the video title, so it's, it'd be easier to say it the other way, but it'd have been confusing to type that as the video title. Regardless, a rather unfamiliar sight in the Challenge Series, as the week kicks off at Alsace? All I'll say is, I don't know, Village. We've used the test track layout here a handful of times, mostly in the 600 class and the Sunday class. But we've never used the other bigger layout made for, faster cars. And the last time that we did, cars struggled with bottoming out on the hill because they had no preparation for setup knowledge and such. This time it's the 675 class. Hopefully by coming up to, I think it's actually the corner behind the camera here, at a little bit of a slower speed, we'll have less cars just bottoming out and flying uncontrollably off of the circuit. But we shall see. We are green from Alsace Village. We already see one of the only new driver for this week, who is immediately getting to the front. Shiro Suzuka in a SW20 MR2, as if there were any other MR2s that were an option. He's already on a team. He's got a bit of folklore behind him in the JGTC world, but he's currently got a different JGTC driver hounding him behind, and that's actually his teammate, John Large. They're both running under Taniguchi Race Team, both acquaintances of Hikari Taniguchi. There's a lot of places being switched around in the early going. Lifa is the POV driver in the R34 Skyline, already up a handful of places into 14th. Caught behind Takami and Mulsanne. Mulsanne with home track advantage here. Somewhat, obviously not quite Le Mans, but probably better off because this car is not super well suited to Le Mans, because it's not great in the straight line department. John Large still has yet to make a play. Actually missed a shift there. It's not going to help him any. He goes up to 12. She's finally gotten by Chica and Lynette. Trying to outdrag a Mustang. Good luck with that. They make contact at the braking zone because I think Lifa got some understeer there. But she gets the better run off of the final turn and will overtake. The other Skyline in the race, Emmy Angelos, has damage, as do a few cars in the back. Pretty much all for front damage, except for, never mind. Nakazato has rear damage, Samson Tate has rear damage. Oh, that was confusing. See, oh, well, that would be it. Takahata had to back out. He got his line cut off by, Len in the, Golf up here. And Emmy was not prepared for that, and ran into the back of Kazuya. The R34 was not damaged, the R33 was. Looking back at, looks like, yeah, just turn 1 concertina effect there is the reason that, Yo and Tate had damage. Final braking zone of the lap, so this was pretty fresh damage, and the Firebird just comes in with way too much momentum, basically forces Nakazato out of her way, but they're both going to get damage from that. That took so long to find. No idea. Nevertheless, on to lap 2, finally, now that we have covered all of the damaged vehicles from the first lap. That's probably not the R34 that Akira Taniguchi is used to seeing in his review. That's probably because that particular Skyline is actually ahead of him. And said Skyline who's gotten his get back on Len. This is the move for the lead. It looks like it was just John Large out-dragging the MR2 out of turn 1. He has to go the long way around. Suzuka doesn't just let him go, but yeah, even into the next braking zone they battled, but that's the inside lane for the 40, and that is the new race leader. Jumping ahead a lap, as not much happened on lap 2 other than that. Lifa is now about to challenge the other R34 on the grid, Kazuya Takahata. It is a pretty strong showing for Taniguchi Race Team at the moment, as Kent Hunt out-dragged the MR2 as well. He's fighting back though. Down the inside goes the former JGTC competitor. He's going to take it back. He's not going to take that one lying down. He wants this 1-2 for TRT. It's currently a 1-2-7 for the team. Make that a 1-2-8 as Lifa will get ahead through the sweeping left. 1-2-8-10 for that matter. I do not believe that there are any other TRT drivers on the running order. Oh yeah, Nakazato's in last. Never mind. Hunt is fittingly still on the hunt for that lime green MR2. Pretty much archetypal power versus handling battle is this fight for P2. Followed by a pair of BMWs, and then a trio of Nissans as Lifa overtakes Thea for 5th position. Now she's up to the back of her teammate, Lisbeth, in the M2 competition. We'll say John has a large advantage. I'm not sure if he just really is that fast, or maybe Suzuka is trying to back up the field to give John Large the advantage that he now has. Hunt sticks his bumper down the inside of the last turn. Suzuka is unwavering, and Liz did not give up much fuss letting her teammate by. Down the inside, the challenger goes once more. And he's gonna have the traction down quicker despite everything. Meanwhile, Lifa overtakes Hanamaru. That's basically not an issue for her there. That was a weird line from Lifa, but one green JDM versus the other, and very suddenly, Suzuka finds himself out of the podium positions on debut. I think John Large may have taken his foot off of the gas, metaphorically speaking of course. His lead has disappeared the second that Kent Hunt got his way into second. And Lifa is also in pursuit. Shiro Suzuka seems to have used up all his pace too early in the race, and now he's under threat from the M3 behind. The 492 car is right there. That 350Z is ripe for the picking if Hunt can get his gears in order. No, Large defends. They make slight contact. It's basically a warning shot, but Lifa is going to have massive exit momentum with the four-wheel drive advantages. Around the outside, Kent Hunt absolutely in the mud. And it's a Nissan duel to the start-finish line. 350 versus R34. Large defends, tries to basically close the door on Lifa. Final turn, door to door. Large gives as much space as humanly possible. Finish line, drag race goes to the skyline. Basically by, we'll call that half a car length right there. Hunt will claim third after his first race after the 675 Cup. That wasn't what it was called. But Suzuka fourth on debut, and eventually call it a 2-4-8-10 for Taniguchi Racing Team. I keep calling it race team. It's racing. Kind of a day to forget for Nakazato off of his week suspension. Not probably wishing he just hadn't even come back with a race performance like that. He had the damage on lap 1, but he didn't even have pace to keep up with the cars that gave the other cars that gave him damage or that took damage. So very high highs or relatively high highs and pretty low lows for TRT, all things considered. It's a rather hazy evening from the Daytona International Speedway, but that is not going to stop us. It's not like it can rain here anyway. The 750 class takes on the World Center of Racing, as it says in the corner. I was like, there's a nickname. I don't remember what it is. But, yeah, the 750 class, incidentally, every single car that showed up to this race is American. Not all of the drivers, but all of the cars. So, it's not even the first time that's happened, oddly enough. But this race should be over pretty quickly, given this, well, just straight line capabilities of pretty much everything that's going to be taking the track here in a second. We are green from Daytona. A pair of admins make up the front row, McIntosh and Logan Cool. Though I think Logan Cool's spot might be under threat from the other C5R. Ashley Kemi is kind of halfway pushed into the second position by John Garrison. Literally, is that 6 Chevys in a row? Yeah, it is. 6 Corvettes, no less. No, I'm dumb. That's a Camaro. I've officially become Tyler. I've mistaken the other way around. I've mistaken a Corvette for a Camaro, but yeah, a Z011LE leads 5 Corvette. Never mind. Barbara got passed by Thomas O'Reilly. And yeah, as you can see, the entire field is American sports cars, basically. Some you probably call muscle cars like the Dodge Demon, but Riley Blanchard is the POV driver in her Z06 B7? Or is that Z01? I can't remember. Rebecca Johnson and Tanner Johnson are 12th and 13th. There's no relation, by the way. Even though they're both driving yellow Vipers, that is actually a complete coincidence. Logan Cool is down to 4th now. He's been passed by 2 Corvettes. Thomas O'Reilly doing everything in his power to try and follow the honor system and keep his car within the track limits. And there we find the second new driver for this week, Maya O'Brien. For my information, family is, father is a United States Air Force vet, not unlike John Garrison himself, who's... What the heck, Akemi? That's just some insane overspeed off of NASCAR 4. They're split 3 wide as they cross the start-finish line for lap 2. Tyler probably needs a new pair of underpants after that. And Logan Cool bared witness to it all. Probably just kind of biding his time from there. Just some early impressions from O'Brien. She's rather jaded. She has no interest in the military life, despite being a military brat. And also has damage on the front of her car. Okay. She just kind of bumped Thomas O'Reilly out of the way and damaged both of their cars. What in the world happened behind her? Oh, Buck nearly just dumps Riley Blanchard for no reason. Okay. I mean, Blanchard saved it, but still looked kind of dumb. God, that supercharger is so loud. Oh, no, never mind. Akemi's not getting away, though. Garrison is keeping her very honest. The battle of 2 Corvettes. McIntosh not out of the battle either. And Barbara has made her way back to 5th, so it is once again 6 Chevrolets in the top 6. Riley Blanchard has got ahead of steam on Taro Kitano. If she can get by her former mentor Thomas O'Reilly, that'd make it an all Chevrolet top 7. And considering we're now on the oval and that's a GT3 car, yeah, that is a done deal right there. So it is now an all Chevy top 7. Riley once more goes ahead of the new driver O'Brien, who will be pitting for damage on this lap anyway. Logan versus Tyler into the bus stop chicane, and Tyler will hang on to P3. Blanchard ahead of the 55. All the overspeed, 2 admins in NASCAR 4 alone. That thing is very clearly tuned to perfection for Daytona and Daytona in particular. 205, there's another gear in that thing. Actually, I think it's a 7-speed, and she's gonna get nowhere near that 7th gear today. Ahead of John Garrison. Akemi and Blanchard have some kind of history. I think it's their karting days, but it was always very vague and never really brought up. Garrison back down the inside. He wants 2nd place back. He's gonna get jack shit. Barbara ahead of both admins as well, probably on the way into a road course turn 1. But the blue Corvette is in pursuit of the C5R kit car, as what this actually is. C5R definitely at home at Daytona, but then again, this is based off of the C7 GTE, so in terms of livery, so take your pick, I guess. 2001 versus like 2018. Out of NASCAR 2, that is some massive overspeed. That was a done deal. There was no stopping Blanchard at the current moment. Just the sheer straight line capabilities once she's able to put the gas pedal down. Even in a field of like 8 or 9 other Corvettes, this one is standing alone. And another Corvette has joined the battle, so Lily Rose with the engine swapped C6 Corvette is trying to make an imprint on things. Garrison has damage. What in the world? Okay, interesting. He slid up way too late to take that racing line, and he only has himself to blame, and he only has himself to punish, as Riley Blanchard's car was unaffected. I don't know if he thought the send was some kind of payback, but it's not like Blanchard changed lines or anything. She held the wall the entire way down turn 1. She maybe broke a little early, but like that's not her fault. And you could see the fruits of that engine swap as Lily Rose just dusts both her team owner and the other admin, Tyler McIntosh, who they themselves now fight into Oval 1. Lily Rose actually overcooks it. We'll get a better view into the wall. Logan gets kind of squeezed a tiny bit. Okay, no, Lily Rose did cook it under braking. Literally going too fast for that C60 could slow down in time. Logan misses a shift and still sends it down the inside of Tyler, but actually gets taken around the outside by Kitano momentarily. Big tail spin, though. It's like some kind of miniature frenemy-ass rivalry we've got between the two admins in this race. But it just keeps getting interrupted because they keep getting passed by everyone else. What the heck? How did you get back to her? Oh, it's an absolutely stupid dive bomb at the International Horseshoe, and Riley was forced to more or less take avoiding action. Clearly their history's not done being written. They go 2 wide through the kink. Now the West Horseshoe and Riley had the advantage here. Hooking the curb for rotation. Power down, C7 with the advantage. Ashley tried to dummy a move and it worked. She's basically in Blanchard's head at this point, but all of that is nothing the second the 5 car can get on the loud pedal. And he immediately gets to work muscling out a lead. We got like round 4 between the 83 and the 1 coming up here. Down the inside, the 83 car looks. Tyler's not having it anymore and closes the door right in his face. Well, Tyler just moved to block. NASCAR moment. And Taro and Lily re-enter the picture. 4-car duel. Logan again gets put in the wall. Because we basically have what has now suddenly become 4, 5, 6, 7-car train, led by McIntosh, which is basically just every car on the track that didn't get damaged at some point in this race. Akemi got close to Blanchard, but I think her time is up. Taro fighting that Hellcat for all it's worth back here in P6. Yeah, 10th is here, 11th is out here. Presumably as the leading car that got damaged in this race. Out of NASCAR 2, nothing doing yet, but we shall see if that changes. Final time for the bus stop. Blanchard with a healthy advantage. I think the race is hers. Yeah, there it is. Because now she's going to put the pedal to the floor. But Logan Poole, if he can position himself right, still has a chance to get to 4th place. I don't think he's positioning himself right, though. It's going to be maybe a drag race to the line. Blanchard takes the flag. Absolute clusterfuck coming up to the line. That was... I don't even know if you'd call that a nose. The sparks fly at the line, but... how close could that have possibly been? Tyler kept blocking. Not by much. That is a half a car length again. Today is just a day of photo finishes at the stripe, pretty much. So, the battle of the admins, McIntosh takes this round, clearly. But, Riley Blanchard, other than a couple of lunatic dive bombs at the International Horseshoe, was pretty much uncontested throughout this one, and a minute 41.6 lap time on the board is proof of that in itself. It is very early in the morning here in Australia as we take ourselves to Mount Panorama. And it is the 640 class for this one. I also hadn't even mentioned it up to this point. I don't know how I neglected to mention it up to this point, but following some of the antics last week, we handed out week-long suspensions to both Noir and Fenny. If you're wondering about the implications of an admin being suspended, you're right to wonder about that, and honestly, so are we, as the rest of the admin team. But, yeah, Fenny also got a week suspension. Noir got a week-long suspension, and Bernice, Barbara, and Uni are given probationary periods for this week. Meanwhile, obviously we just had Nakazato's suspension from week 145 and going into Monday to this week, and Isabel is still taking a vacation until the end of week 149. So it'll still be half a month before we see her again. And presumably before we see Iris again, because I don't think Iris is going to want to take to the racetrack while her big sister, what the heck, brain? Her big sister is in the clink. We are green from Bathurst. And it looks like it's going to be a dead heat off the line. Minami with the inside lane though, and I'm sure the GTO's got more horsepower as we climb this hill, and oh yeah. The GTO moves to the first position. She was technically the pole sitter, she started on the inside, so... A decent chunk of GT4 cars on this grid. Xenon, Thrasher, who else? Liz, Lifa, Roxanne Reyes, the POV driver. Takamiya's car is technically designed for, or homologated for it. And Gina's Mach 3 is also homologated for that. Already into 12th for the M4 GT4, and looking for 11th on the Megane Trophy. Close quarters action up the hill, but Reyes apparently doesn't even fear the outside wall, let alone any of the other cars on the track, so... Xenon fought back for the lead with ambush tactics on the way through Skyline. Kind of catching an oversteering GTO off guard and getting to the race lead. Meanwhile, the POV driver takes to the mountain. The camera doesn't want to follow. It is always going to be a bit of traffic back here in the first lap. And Reyes is not trying to waste time. She immediately tries to send one down the inside of Pool. Looks like she got the run off there. Yes, she did. So despite the Camaro's probable better power, the M4 grabs the spot regardless. Battle for third, very close quarters between Thrasher and Ryza. There's contact made and everything. And Xenon is in the dirt. I think there was also contact between her and Kotori ahead as they battled for the race lead. Yeah, there was. Xenon just overcooks it trying to get down the inside of the GTO. Hangs on to second in the chaos by kind of just blocking the path. The chaos then allows Ryza to move ahead of Thrasher. He doesn't like that. He goes back down the inside at the final turn. But he's not able to out-drag the Z8 on the front straightaway, as short as it may be, and he has a driver he's encountered before, filling his mirrors now, Dale Campbell, who I'm sure Thrasher remembers from week 1 of the season, back at Autopolis. Meanwhile, Roxanne Reyes has already moved into P6 and is in pursuit of the vehicles we were just watching, as Ryza is going to try and out-drag Xenon for P2 up to the second corner. Group 4 is going to have the grip advantage, but it's not going to help her. Ryza is going to muscle her way to second place and chase after Kotori in the GTO. Currently a 478 for Black Stallion Motorsports. They've showed up in force today. Trying to see if there are any other BSM cars. Oh yeah, Veronica's back here in 16th. She started 19th, so not a lot she can do about that. Looks like Honoka and Takamiya got damage on lap 1. The cameras didn't really catch it, so... fierce defenses from Ryza Stout, trying to keep Xenon away. In the section that the Group 4 should be stronger in, because it's lighter. But then again, that all kind of gets evened out when it's a battle between the three of them. Thrasher has damage. What the heck? How did I miss that? Well, that was interesting. I think Xenon was just out of control there. Probably hooked to the outside curb in the lower slung Group 4. A little bit of argy-bargy, I think, from Ryza 2 at the apex. I did literally say that she muscled her way by, but I didn't know to that extent. Okay, no, never mind. Xenon literally just got in her own head and got herself psyched out, then hooked that outside curb, spun into Thrasher's path, and damaged both their cars. And on that note, we will skip ahead to the beginning of lap 3, as there was not much else of note that happened on 2. Which is surprising, because I figured there'd have been more chaos at the chase, but supposedly not. There's not much happening right now, either. The top 4 are kind of spread out. No, actually, just the top few in general. Silica's trying to look for a move on Narashi. That Mini has got some surprising straight line speed. But on any low speed section, it's going to suffer. Doesn't matter, though. This isn't the low speed section yet, so Silica's going to find herself in 6th. Veronica, despite her very slow start, finds herself in P12 on track simply by not getting damage. I think everybody else besides her and Pele, or everybody from Xenon back, has been damaged at some point in this race. I was looking at the wrong spot. Reyes just had so much more momentum up this hill, using the arrow on that BMW to her advantage. In the section where it is the most effective. Around the outside of Stout, no muscling anybody around here in that Z8. And then she approaches the actual muscle car in the form of Kotori's GTO and just dusts it. No chance to clap back there for a 302 car. And now she just, I think she immediately would just rather focus on keeping the 328 behind, as it seems that Reyes has already made herself a little bit difficult to reach with an absolutely terrifying mountain section that put, what is that, like probably 3 seconds between her and the Kotori, and the GTO of Kotori. It's certainly gonna haul ass in a straight, though. There's not really much even Ryza can do about that. 170 plus, 173 in the 640 class. That GTO, it's amazing when yours is actually, like, you know, structurally sound and you can tune it like crazy, unlike the one I'd been sitting in that was barely held together when I had my devastating wreck at Watkins Glen a couple weeks ago. It probably could have been fixed. It was designed to basically be fixed over and over and over again. But the structural rigidity of that car, having been through everything it's been through, I could not feel safe if I drove that thing again. So I'm not going. I think Silica is going to try and punch above her weight class again. And try and out-drag Megumi Inoue in the 350Z on the way down and up both to turn 2. No dice. Yeah, Reyes is leading it all on the track right now. That's probably a 4.5 second margin between her and Kotori. And it's only going to get larger as we hit the, the mountain section where she's clearly sliding right now. Yeah, there's just nothing, nobody on this track can touch that right now, clearly. You might see Ryza in with a chance to take second away, but it's not great odds. I know, she's too far back. 179 on the speedometer, but it's not enough to get up to that 302 car. Chasing the tail out of the chase, fun not intended. Final turn for the 59 car. It is Southern Speed Co.'s first victory in the Challenge Series. Roxanne Reyes first. The rest somewhere? Yeah, we'll call that 4 seconds back. How the hell did a Lay's potato chip van end up 4th? Only in the Challenge Series, man. I tell you what is it with this place? Why is it always raining here? Are there just like non-stop funerals? Are people always stepping on spiders here? What is wrong with Suzuka Circuit? It's always raining. I swear to God. Anyway, inexplicable precipitation aside, the 715 class gets ready for a very damp Suzuka Circuit race. I just don't understand the weather here. I really don't. But, I mean, I guess, you know, it's got to be raining somewhere, right? It just starts to wonder how it never seems to be in Europe or North America. We are away from the very rainy Suzuka Circuit. Yumiya Leisfeld, that's apparently how that's pronounced, is the POV driver in her M4. Takahata started on pole, and he's immediately, well, he's going to try and get away. Ryza, who's clearly the Iron Man of this, or Iron Woman of this week, making, I think it's her 3rd start of the week. No, it isn't. No, I'm talking about only your 2nd one. Anyway, me being forgetful aside, I have a concussion still. Shut up. Where is... Yumiya did not get too far through the S's. She's only just now making places up, getting up to 15th, trying to go around the outside of a GTR for 14th. Going forward at the hairpin as we listen to the sometimes therapeutic, sometimes anxiety-inducing noise of raindrops hitting the front windshield at 120 miles an hour. Outmaneuvers the Camaro. Tries to outbrake the C4 Corvette. No luck with that. Corvette, who already has damage to the front of her car. So Riley will not be winning 2 races this week. Not in that shape. And Yumiya smells the blood in the water. There goes the 12 car for the decisive move. And at the braking for 130R, the M4 is ahead. Simon Schuster also has damage. Can't tell who he hit though. Nobody in front of him has damage, so... And Wayne Hansen is going to lead the first lap. See, he's not a bad driver when he's not stuck with his constant beef with Dominic DeFrisco, who is in the race, but he's in 19th with a very slow start. Now up to 17th because of lap 1 damage. He's right behind his team owner, Brian Ice, who also couldn't get anywhere off the start of the race. Yumiya around the other GTR on the grid. Well, the R35, or the R35 anyway. There's another GTR up here. 2, actually. 2-3 for TRT at the moment. Pair of Skylines trying to... It doesn't seem like they're really trying to catch Wayne Hansen. It seems like they're just trying to keep Ryza Stout at bay. As it's currently a 4-5-6 for Team AMT. see if any of them can break through onto the podium places. It looks like Ryza's certainly ready to try, although poor Degner 2 will not help her any. Teammates battle into the hairpin, Hammer not giving it up, but Yumiya not taking anything, and it looks like she's going to be the first to try and make a play for the podium, as, yep, she is going to cross over Ryza on a straightaway. Can she get the spot through Spoon Curve? Down the inside of the 334, they bang doors. Takahata, who I think had just let Hikari Taniguchi pass earlier in the lap. Maybe he's down on pace in these conditions. You wouldn't think he'd be. You'd think the Skyline would be more than comfortable in some low traction zones like this, but instead here comes the SLR McLaren of Ryza down the inside at 130R, and he slips on past. That Diablo is so loud, man. And it looks like Yumiya also did the same thing on Hikari, so a pair of overtakes for Team AMT at 130R, both on TRT Skylines. Some weird-ass synchronized takedown bullshit right there, but you know, sometimes that's just how it goes. I don't know what else to comment on that. It's just a very weird coincidence, and now that is a 209 flat. Yeah, Hansen, your days are numbered, pal. Yumiya is rapidly approaching your location. Knowing the range, he probably doesn't even care because it's not the Briscoe. We might be looking at a battle through the S's right here, right now. Wayne Hansen, I think, is trying to back her up into, I guess, into Taniguchi. I don't really know why he'd be doing that. Maybe she's trying to bait her into running into him. Give him an excuse to drive like he normally does, but around the outside, that becomes the inside as we make our way out of the S's. New race leader, the 12 of Yumiya. And Wayne Hansen was not able to put up too much of a fuss about it. Not much happened for the remainder of lap 3. We'll cut ahead to the last lap. Yumiya has quite a lead. It looks like Taniguchi is going to take a shot at him in the near future as well. Ooh, man, my neck didn't like that. Hammer versus Takahata. Elbows out from the AMG driver, and he's going to make himself 5th place. He's going to take 5th place. What the heck are you doing now? GTR will surely have better traction, but Wayne Hansen just making up for it by sheer aggression and somehow, someway not losing control of the car. Again, that's a Diablo 2, so it's not like it's easy to drive. Wayne Hansen is a very capable driver when he wants to be, but he'd usually just rather be capable of violence. If he weren't a capable driver, he wouldn't still be here. One would probably be keen to say. It's just that he always just actively chooses not to be. And somehow, someway, as an admin, that ticks me off more than anything he else does. You drive like a douche canoe all you want. Some people just drive like idiots because that's all they can do. Clearly, Wayne Hansen can handle himself. He can handle a piece of machinery like this. It's a downpour. These are treacherous, wet conditions. And he's keeping ahead of a JGTC champion. I don't know what in the world Yumiya Lifestyle's doing, that she's ahead of both of them, but Hansen is a perfectly fine driver when he's not stuck with his own rivalry with Dom Vitesco back here somewhere. In 17th. He's not been able to get any kind of momentum going at all. Last time through the chicane for the 12 car. Wasn't exactly a dominant win, but it doesn't have to be. Lifestyle takes her first win in the Challenge Series over Wayne Hansen and Hikari Taniguchi, a pair of yellow cars. And another yellow car will come in 4th with Ryza's SLR McLaren. Strong showing for Team AMT, 145. Do they have any other representatives? Okay, yeah, Krieger's down in 13th. That is all. 145.13. You just kind of ignore that Michael Krieger started in the back too. That is another very commanding showing from the German outfit. And the final race of the week takes us to Kyoto Racecourse. Shit, that's the force of habit. Cut! The final race of the week takes us to the Kyoto Driving Park, specifically the Miyabi layout, because we have quite a chaotic derby ahead of us. It's closer to a demo derby, let's face it. It's 525 class, so it's not like they're... Well, some of them are kind of expensive. Sunday class, 525 class, they're interchangeable. It's like the dirt division and the special conditions class. It's just... We come up with these fancy names, you know, the Sunday class, the Clubman class, the GT class, the premium class, and the supercar class, but like we never use them because we just refer to them internally as, oh, it's the 525 cars, it's the 600 cars, it's the 750 cars. Blah. Anyway, lots of laps, short laps at that. This is going to look more like track and field, considering this track is literally 2 corners, basically. And there's the start from Kyoto Park. That almost kind of rhymed. Unsurprisingly, the garbage truck did not get off the line very well. So Haru Urara is instead going to lead us down through turn 1. Apparently, this is just a really committed cosplayer who can't run very well, so instead she tries to emulate her favorite anime character by racing cars. Also, RIP both to the real horse that that character's based on, and probably to her lead, because, well, if you know anything, you know that Shoji's probably about to take the lead away from her. She's gonna lead a lap, just more than I thought, more than she thought she'd do, probably. We don't know her actual name, by the way. The actual name of the cosplayer. It's not like, it's the same thing with, like, Hana Song that we used to have, where they wanted to stay anonymous, so they avoided, undesirable types around the world, so they just went by the name of the character they were cosplaying all the time. Shoji Hakure moves into the race lead as we speak. See if the cosplayer has the guts to fight back. I'm thinking no. She's certainly close enough. She could have tried, but she didn't have the killer instinct. Futaba gets to third place ahead of Yukiko Takuchi. Maybe. Nope, not clear. Down the inside, the Cappuccino will bounce, dribbling a car over curbs. That's a new one, we'll say. And here comes Amber Ashhart in the Mini Cooper that didn't jump. And Natsuki Narashi, the POV driver, who we didn't even mention, is kind of just the #1 favorite here, because this is her territory. The slower the car, the faster she drives. It's inexplicable in its ways, but that's just how she operates. The Haru cosplayer is literally stuck between 2 Day 1 veterans in Hakure and Narashi. What in the world was that overtake? I think Urara just almost turned into her, or just straight up did turn into her there. Battle for the lead on lap 3, and Shoji is gonna run her off the road. Around goes the 8.6 into the wall, and she's gonna have to sit there and wait for everybody to go by because she does not have the turning circle to rejoin safely, especially when cars are running too wide back here. Let's see what Haru Urara sees here as we head through the final turn. They make slight contact there, but Hakure just door checks her. There's no other way around it. And the Honda N1 barely takes evasive action to not crash into the spinning Toyota. Well, there goes the #1 favorite, we'll say. In a crash like that, I don't think she's going to be able... I mean, she's got minor damage. She might be fine. It doesn't seem like it's anything suspension related. It's just aero. That is still a lot of time to make up. as now it's Alice Carson. Thrasher got ahead of the 64. His turn to try and take a shot at Shoji Hakure. Oh my god. Yuzuko's suspension was clearly not ready. Oh, Shoji got damage himself doing that, so serves him right, I suppose. So now Thrasher will take the lead of the race. A pair of Hondas giving chase. Aurora and Alice Carson in the S600. Yukiko and Riho are continuing to fight for the lead Suzuki. Wait, no, never mind, not anymore, that's right, Thrasher's in the Suzuki. Why do I keep thinking this car is the Honda Beat? No, that's your car, Riker. Oh, in this class. 94, 64, 34 are your top three. Oddly enough, Riho still has the Planetoon Racing's decal on her car, despite the fact that that team is now defunct, as Neptune and Neptune left the series going into Season 4. Oh my god, she's already back to 12. She is driving angry, I reckon. She did not pit for that damage. She's boxed in between a Nissan Rogue and a garbage truck. Sweeps around the outside of the Demio. She's now into 9th. 3 laps ago, she was facing the wrong way with massive damage to her front end, and we all assumed her race was over. Suddenly, she's on the same straightaway as the leader again. The leader who is also her team owner, I might add. Aru is stubbornly hanging on to second. Alice Carson can't find a way by. Logan Poole that suddenly entered the picture as a contender as well in the Gatorade MX-5. But here comes the 68. 3 wide again. Gonna take 2 Suzukis and 1 S section. If he's gonna get a hearse for good measure by the looks of it. Yep. Around the outside of the Volvo hearse. I don't know if Volvo ever made hearses, but here we are. A 3 wide again. Futao's gonna get pinched out. Door-to-door contact again as we head towards lap 8. And now just like that, Natsuki is looking at the podium. This would be the comeback to end them all if she can get back up to that lead and steal the win from her team owner. She's gonna get a pair of Hondas for turn 1. Thrasher's advantage, we'll call it about 2 seconds, 2 1/3 maybe. But Natsuki is up 6/10 on her previous lap. Or previous set, I should say. This is going to be into the low 44s. She is literally driving the hell out of that 8.6. Takumi Fujiwara, 2 laps to go. Natsuki's back in the lead. That is insane work. And Urara is still hanging onto the podium. Secretly, I think most of us are hoping that she stays there. But it's an absolute clusterfuck of cars heading through the S section. 3rd through 8th, all bunched up under a blanket. We'll say the way ahead is crowded. Rashi's gone. Thrasher doesn't even have an answer. Logan moves to 4th, emerging from the chaos behind the Honda N1. White flag in the air. 3 more turns, effectively, for Logan to get onto the podium. This is the 68th race. Despite everything, no answer from the 94. And between this group of, like, 6, it's going to be who gets on the podium. 64, 83, 157, 34, 122. Carson has fallen off a cliff. Logan down the inside. And that is curtains for Haru Urara's podium chances. The comeback of the century Natsuki Narashi is going to win at Kyoto Driving Park. Thrasher's second for Black Stallion 1-2. And Thrasher's fellow admin Logan Cool will round out the podium places, stealing it from Haru at the final turn. But all of that is going to be overshadowed completely by whatever in the hell Natsuki Narashi just pulled off. There are no words